all right. What's up, guys? It's Sherm with Sherm Music. Welcome to the channel. Officially, this podcast is called Sherm Talk. Let me get this mic right. All right.
There we go.
And so, as you guys can see, I got my girl, Heather. She is in the building. She is back.
Show.
Okay. And you know what we're going to talk about today, guys? We're going to talk about these relationships. We're going to stick in this thing because got some new found information that I want to jump in. I want to kind of ask you and have you kind of speak on it. So we all are attracted to what we are attracted to, right?
True. Yeah.
Not something you get to choose. You just automatically are either attracted to or you're not.
That's right.
So that's one level, right?
Mm-hmm.
That next
Attraction,
level is let me just say it like this. So who you are attracted to is one thing. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about preferences, right? Normally the second thing in someone's list is finances.
Yeah.
Do you, and the way we word it is, do you have your stuff together? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Do you have your stuff together? Mm-hmm. Is your credit score great? You know what I'm saying? Like
all
these
that
are
type of stuff.
And
those are grown conversations.
Grown. And these are safe. These are like, so this is us trying to be secure.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. But it does not account for if the person is a good person or not.
It don't.
If they will hurt you or not.
Yep, it
right?
don't.
So my thought on this subject is that we have to change how we choose. So before we get into right, we got to change how we choose. So
I like that.
We're gonna start with you.
Okay, let's come on.
All right.
What we got?
We're gonna start with give me your top 4 things that you are looking for when you meet a guy.
Top 4 things. First of all, his personal relationship with God. That's number 1. Let's see. Second thing is hygiene for me. That's a big thing. Which that comes in with odor and all. Next, and we're just saying like physical things or
just so in a perfect world.
Okay.
What are those top 4 things your guy would have going for himself?
Okay, so he got his relationship with God. He got to have his hygiene.
Not looks and finances? No?
You know what? Yeah, and those would be the last 2.
Okay.
Looks and finances. There you go.
Looks and finances, right?
Looks and finances.
So
those would be my 4, yeah.
The first thing I guess for me is, I mean, you got to be attracted to someone in order for you to be with them.
That's number 1 for you?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's the natural order. Like, you don't even go talk to the person unless you're attracted.
True.
Right? I used to fight against that. You know? I used to fight. But sometimes, and here's where it can differ, is if you meet, say, in a group setting, right? It's a whole bunch of y'all hanging out. Mm-hmm. You may not necessarily be attracted, but the more you hang out with a person, you're like, oh.
That's true because my current situation kind of happened like that. We met in like a bar atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first time was just like, hey, how you doing? Then, once, we started talking and learning more about each other, that's when the attraction and stuff started coming even more.
Right.
I mean, because it was initial attraction there physically.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course you got to know someone
right.
hard.
Yeah.
That makes them even more attractive.
Right. So I'll say for myself, one of the things that I do, and this is how we're going to go into this.
Okay.
One of the things that I do when I'm thinking about a relationship with someone, is my first thing is I pray about it. Right.
That's real.
I pray, what is this relationship for? Mm-hmm. Is this now?
That's real.
Everybody's not going to think this way, but I'm thinking about marriage always, right?
Yeah.
I'm not just dating to date. The first thing normally that I'm thinking in my head is this my wife? Right?
Okay.
Now, of course, you get to choose. We get to choose what we want, right?
Yeah.
And so that's normally the first thing. Is this going to be sis or is this wifey?
Okay.
Which one? Is this just a good friendship?
Okay.
Is this a business thing? Or is this, because then it'll dictate how I move after that, right?
Right.
So then let's just say the next thing for me is the person's heart. What is her heart like? You know what I'm saying? So I'm paying attention to how she treat people in her life.
Right. Okay.
You know?
That's real.
Then from there, it's just kind of, okay, are we vibing, right? Those are the normal things. Like, is the conversation cool? Now, but this is also trickery too. Because because you can't base the rest of your life on a few moments in time before then. And you
can't tell, not to cut you off, and you can't tell people what you're actually looking for.
Right.
Because if you tell them, then they're going to portray that character.
Right.
No.
Nope, you don't say nothing.
No, don't say nothing. Just let it go.
You just hang out.
Yep.
And that's just it.
Yep.
You know, and see if it works and see if it don't. Now, here's where I think with that all of us are wrong.
Report.
So, sure, you're going to be attracted to who you're going to be attracted to. But the Word of God talks about acknowledging God in all things.
All things.
So, and a lot of times, and I had this conversation earlier with my sister.
Okay.
A lot of times we try to ask God, is she her or is he him? Is he the one for me? Is she the one? But the problem with that is God is not going to take your choice from you. You get to choose who you want. So if he's going to give us free will, what are we praying and asking for? What we should be asking for is discernment, or God, show me her heart. Show me his heart.
Yeah.
So that I can choose.
That's real.
I have been making bad decisions this entire time, and who I'm picking and who I'm dating, and spending all this type of money and emotionally investing in someone that's going to let me down, right? This is what we do is out here.
What we do.
So, but what if we went to God and said, hey, can you show me his heart? Can you show me her heart? So that I get to see really who they are before I get all the way invested. Because normally you don't find out who a person is until 6 months down the line, really. Because by then you didn't see, if not sooner, you see who they are. But then sometimes by then
you never know. Still,
you've got all emotionally tied in. Now you don't want to leave.
True. Yep.
So
now you're caught up in that toxic situation.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So that is something that, you know, when it comes to relationships, we have to think about this. If we serve a God who's the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, but yet we don't ask him about the future. We don't ask him which way I should go. We don't ask him, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I, what about this job? Because here's the thing, he's not going to take your choice away. But if you acknowledge him in all your ways, the Word of God says that he will
direct your path.
Direct your path.
Amen. Yeah.
But our relationships are the one thing that we don't take to him. We'll pray for help. We'll pray for others. We'll pray for healing, right? We'll pray for peace. But we do not pray or take our choice to be with someone to God.
You're right. Most people don't.
And we try to say, all right, look, is this, is that, and we base it off of what we see.
Right.
Now, that's crazy too. Because think about this. We're supposed to be walking by faith and not by sight.
Yep.
But so the ideal is decisions that we make and choose, they should be faith decisions. They should not be decisions based on our flesh. Our flesh wants what it wants.
Yeah, flesh is weak.
Listen, and my proof to you is the relationships where the guy is beating on the woman. In the moment she's trying to escape because of the pain, her flesh doesn't want the pain.
Right.
But then once the pain subsides, she's going back because her flesh still likes who likes him. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So if our flesh changes based on situations, why do we trust in it so much? Why do we trust? I mean, because I can think of a whole lot of times where my spirit man was saying no, but my flesh was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just.
That's how it is.
It's what happens. So
for real.
So I submit to you guys that, we have to, in these relationships, we have to begin. We can't be afraid to say, Lord, is he the one?
Right.
Or can you show me who he is? But sometimes they're so gorgeous or handsome, and all you can think of is,
hey, I ain't even gonna lie. With my current situation, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of things of God. Like that'd be my first thing of waking up in the morning. I'm thanking him for waking me up for one. And then when a lot of decisions, I'm going to God.
Right.
God, show me.
Right.
Protect me from, if it's anything that's not of you, hey, don't let it enter. Remove it.
Right. But see, but here's the thing though. He's not going to remove it because he wants you to choose to remove it.
But
and some people,
he'll show you
who they are, and that's the point.
He'll show you.
Like the point is that you want to be able to go in with your eyes open,
right?
And like, hey, what's happening?
And not these eyes,
right? Right. You got to pay attention. Right. So, I am not dating anyone, but I am currently like getting to know someone, right?
Okay.
And so far, right, I am blown away by the conversations.
Oh, nice.
Right? I'm blown away.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, yeah, she's dope.
Yeah.
But I haven't said, Lord, show me this lady. Because,
okay.
First off, I have been divorced, 11 years, 10 years, 12 years, something like that. I've been divorced for some years.
Yeah, that's a while.
So I have not necessarily been in a relationship since my ex-wife. Now, I have been in situations.
Yeah.
And the situations that I have been in, I knew from the first week that I'm straight.
Dang.
Just because of what took place in them, I just I'm not dealing with it, right? But I stick around because of loneliness, convenience. I will, and I will just be entertained.
Yeah,
I'll be in it just so that you have someone to talk to at night, someone to go hang out with. Knowing that, this ain't it. So that's one of the things that as men and women of God, we definitely have to start looking at how we're choosing, because what happens is we say we want a man of God, we say we want a woman of God, but we're not seeking God in his direction when it comes to obtaining that.
Gotcha.
We're just out here flowing based off how a person look. And I man, listen.
That's true.
That for me, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, this lady is not the one. Oh, but she's fine.
She fine though.
She fine, you know. And so, but that's the thing that
you never know.
Well, so here's the thing, though, right? You can pretty much make any relationship work if you want to. But what we're talking about is most of the time, if it's going to work, because you can't control the other person. So you got to be willing to just sacrifice all your feelings and all that stuff and just flow with it. Because most people will stay with you unless you are the problem. But most people, if you're not the problem, most people will stay regardless.
True.
You know, like they'll stay.
Yeah.
And then it can turn toxic because even though you both know this ain't it, but yet you're gonna stay in it even though y'all doing some crazy stuff to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like so when you see that, so I in that case would like to just tell you guys, man, listen, it's not worth it in the long run. I'm not going to tell you
your pieces.
Yes,
is
so valuable, right?
What?
I'm not going to say that, and I almost don't believe in soulmates, because the thought of that means that before the foundations of the earth, God said, no, she's it. Now, sometimes you can find a relationship, and that's the thought you have about it because it's just so good. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, we click, we this, we that. No, this is my soulmate. This is who God made for me.
Would you call that a twin flame?
No, listen. Number one, and I like that you said that. But number one, God tells us to choose. He tells the man, go find a wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. The
choice is ours. Paul even said, I wish that you all could be like me alone so that you can spend more time in the Word of God. Because when you're with someone, your time is divided. Right? So as far as a soul mate, twin flames, or, that kind of stuff is something that you say after you found that person. You feel that way about it.
Right. Okay.
Things just work and they work out that way for you.
I feel you.
But you can meet anyone. And they say something like, we like to say opposites attract. There are all these things that we say, but these are things that take place after whatever it is happens. So we give it that name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like there are some women or men, there's some women that I see, and let's just say they like a 20, they're 100, and the dude is like 20. And you'd be like, how did that happen? But there was something there that connected them.
Yep.
And both are cool with it, But that's the thing, though. I think when you really get the maturity, to me, shows when, number one, if you are able to deal with a person and their faults and stick with them, like, that's maturity. And I'm not talking about physical hurt or pain or abuse. I'm not talking about that. If somebody putting their hands on you, get up out of there. Okay. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's in the Bible. Okay?
Yeah, get up out of there.
But get up out of there, right? For your own safety.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can withstand all the craziness and immaturity that a possible mate has, then you're talking about the potential of building something great. Because a lot of issues that we find in relationships, they do with maturity, or lack of, selfishness.
Very
right,
much so true.
And these are things that we can grow out of.
Right.
You can learn to be selfless. You can grow and mature in how you think.
Right.
These are things that can change when the person is ready. And so if you can endure that, if you can have patience, if you can long suffer, then that relationship has a chance to survive.
Yeah, that's true.
What are your thoughts?
I totally agree. You have to, everybody has, I think we talked about this on the first one, changing, I think you said every 5 to 7 years.
Right.
So going back to that, you going to change.
Yeah.
It just goes back to change and just go back to growth and willing to do that long suffering.
Right.
And because I say about the first 4 years within my marriage or so, yeah, we went through those like little long suffering and things and try to get to know each other better and went through those ups and downs, those arguments. You know how it is when you first get married. It's like you're young, you're still trying to find each other,
right.
find yourself.
You guys got married in your 20s, right?
Late 20s, yeah.
Late 20s, okay.
Late 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, so we was, felt like we know what we doing. We grown. We about to step into our 30s, so
right.
Let's do this thing together. But in your 30s, you still really ain't got together neither. In your 30s, you really ain't got it together either.
Right.
But with all that being said, yeah, it's all about patience. Yeah. Patience is virtue.
Right.
For real.
So let me ask you this: with you guys, when you guys were having your hard times, did you guys like have seek counseling, or were you just kind of handling it on your own?
We actually talked about counseling because we we went to church in Carrollton and they had like a whole outreach program for like young married adults. Okay. We talked to people, but we didn't take the steps into actually going forward with it. Yeah. So our counseling session was us talking it out. Okay. Talking it out, praying together. Right. And that's one thing we did. We prayed together, hands and knees, praying, crying together, asking God to strengthen this. Yeah. And yeah. So that was our counseling. That was the counseling. Yeah, that was our counseling.
So now I do marriage counseling, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I always find it's interesting. Well, most people when they go to counseling, the goal for them is, number one, is to, kind of settle certain things. Right. Right. Then number two, they're thinking, well, the other person needs to change. Like, you need to stop doing this. And then both people are saying that to each other. Like if you would stop doing this, or if you wouldn't do that.
That's why it's good to have that mediator for real.
Right. But so when I get those conversations, I stop them right there, dead in the tracks. I stop them. Why? Yeah. Okay. Because I can hear from what they're saying. Number one, y'all don't know how to love each other. Let me tell you this. When you are fighting to get your way, and when I say get your way, I mean when you're trying to get the other person to stop doing something, and I don't care what it is. They could be wrong as all outdoors, right? It doesn't matter. If your goal is to get them to stop, then selfishness is rooted in that. And this is why I say this, because obviously if they're doing something, it means this is something deeper than just, I can just stop. Right. There's something going on in your heart. And if you don't recognize in the other person's heart, there's an issue. In the other person's thought process, there's an issue. Right. And in our mind, it takes years for us to become who we are today. Right? We've all been through trauma. We've all been through some sort of thing that has shaped how we see things, shaped how we grow. And so in a relationship, and there's something that the other person is doing that's bothering you, they're not going to be able to just stop because you don't like it. So I say selfishness because we have to be aware of that in the other person. Right. So what I do is I take everyone beginner's course into 1 Corinthians 13, where it talks about what love is and what love is not. Okay. Because that scripture will give us a baseline on being patient. long suffer. Mm-hmm. He says love is patient, love is kind. It's not puffed up. It suffers long, right?
Yeah, that is the foundation.
Not easily angered.
Right.
Right? Not selfish, right? It tells you what it is and what it is not.
Right.
And so
just the straight facts and the
right,
foundation
that's
of
it.
what it is.
So just the mere definition of love in that scripture says that there are going to be things in your marriage or relationship that you have to be patient with.
Yeah.
There are going to be things that you're going to have to suffer through. Right?
Right.
It's just automatic. So the
right
first
there.
thing we talk about is we need to make sure that both of you guys understand what love is and what love is not. Right. Now that we have that, now we have to do some self-reflecting and say, why does when he do this, it bothers me so much? Why does that bother me so much? So when you're trying to figure out why something is harming you, normally it's stemming from something in your past.
True.
It's how you see this thing that makes it such an offense to you. And that could have happened in your childhood. It could have happened in the first 2 years of your marriage. It could have, any of that, something happened to you to where when you see this,
right,
it's an issue.
It's a trigger.
Right.
Yeah. Trigger. Yeah.
So that's the next step. We have to figure out what that is. Like what is it? Because not only does he need to work on him, but I need to work on me so that I can have patience and see this thing for what it really is. Right. And what triggers me happened back in our first year of marriage when this happened, when your mama said, and all that stuff. Now in year 6 and 7, it's popped up. Mm-hmm. And now we got serious problems because there was stuff that we didn't heal from back then.
Yep.
And
too much stuff slid.
Right. Because we stay together, right? Mm-hmm. That means somewhat we forgave you.
Yeah.
But we didn't heal from that hurt. We didn't heal from that trauma. And if something is not healed, that means that it's going to constantly hurt, constantly swell. It can get infected, right? Yeah. So the first thing we want to do is figure out what love is not. Then we want to figure out, why am I triggered by what's happening? Right? Figure out where that came from, because now if you can get healing from it, then now maybe you can see what he's doing a bit different.
Okay.
And you can have more patience with him because you know he needs to grow. Now, this is a two-sided street. The other person needs to look at them and say, why the heck do I do that? You know?
Right.
And you take the step. So if you constantly get pissed off because when he come home, he got his drawers on the floor, socks all over the floor, all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So your job in that case will be like, why does this piss me off so much?Maybe it was your brother when you was growing up, your sister when you were growing up, they were so dirty, always left stuff, and you probably said to yourself, when I get I will never let this and that, right? So that could just be your thing, right? Yeah. And now here you got a husband, and that's what he's doing all the time, and it's pissing you off, right?
Yeah,
so
you got to open your mouth. Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not the woman or the wife to sit there and be angered by little things. I'm going to open my mouth.
Right. But here's the thing, though. We are supposed to communicate with each other, right? Mm-hmm. So the other person knows. But here's the thing. The other person is not going to be able to change a habit that they've been doing for 20, 30 some years. It takes time. Yeah. That's where patience comes from.
Yep.
Right? Now, the other person needs to look at, man, why do I do this? Mm-hmm. Why do I do that?
Yeah.
Why am I hurting? I see my wife is hurting because I'm doing this. And so now what you have to do is get help in dealing with what that thing is that you're doing. Why do I leave my clothes on the floor like that? Don't I see that she's doing other things and she does not like to have to do that every single time.
Right.
You know? So these are things like in a relationship. When you're talking about longevity, when you're talking about having something that's going to last, there are some foundational things that you must understand. Number one, what is love?
Right.
And what is not. You got to get that, right? And then you got to know who you are. Some people are not ready for relationships because you need healing from whatever you've been through in your past. But now I will say recent years, mental health has been important.
Yes.
And people are now becoming more aware of who they are by going to counseling, talking with people, and figuring out the issues that they have in their life.
Right.
That's key. Because you not only need to be who you need to be for someone else, but more importantly, you need to be who you need to be for you. You know, like I need to be whole and healed for myself before I can present myself to someone else.
Right.
Or I'm just going to carry whatever it is that I have onto the next relationship.
And that ain't fair.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
So I had a situation where a lady friend, she was in a relationship where her husband was cheating.
Right.
And so her husband's cheating on her. She ends up catching him in the act.
She caught him in the act.
Caught him in the act. Got into a fight with the girl, not the guy.
No, yeah.
She divorced him, right? So that's over, right? Now, she meets me, and the first thing she's talking about in our conversations is how he cheated on her.
That ain't it.
Number one, I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
I don't care. And I'm not saying mean, but really you're telling me
that woman's scarred.
Yeah.
She's scarred.
But,
like she caught her husband in the act.
Right. And so then
I could
but then
I could only imagine, bro.
Right. But then I'm getting accused. And I'm doing absolutely nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And now I'm being questioned. I'm being told I can't do things. And I just met you.
Yeah.
We're not even dating.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
You're not ready to date.
If
you're talking like that.
She got trust issues.
Yeah. Why are you trying to date?
Right.
Because you think you're going to meet someone and they're just going to change based on your fears?
No.
They're going to change based on your insecurities?
Right.
It's just the same thing with men. Men who are controlling. They're controlling because of a fear. An irrational fear of something happening that they don't want to happen.
Yep.
And so they are controlling. Now, all of a sudden, she can't hang out with her friends. All of a sudden, she can't hang out with her family. All of a sudden, now she needs to stay at home with you more so you know where she's at. And you think a woman is going to let you do that? Now, some women do.
Some women do.
How dare you expect another person, a grown person, mind you, do what you want them to do because of your insecurities? How crazy is that?
People do it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I refuse
right.
to be put in modern day slavery. Okay?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I am not finna change how I'm moving because you have issues that you haven't been healed from or sought after counseling or therapy for. You need to go get healed. Right. You need to talk with someone so that you can now walk in a way to where you trust people. And really, it is not even that you have to trust. You just have to realize that you are not the person that they answer to. A relationship doesn't mean that.
No.
A relationship should not be based off obligation, but it should be based off of, I'm sorry, I lost my thought there. Oh, it should be based off honor.
I like that.
Honor. I do this not because this is what you want, but I want to honor you, so I'm going to do this because this is what you want. If I know that it's something about Saturday mornings and you want some fresh lilies on the dinner table, it's not that you're going to make me do it.
Right.
It's that I know that you want, and I love you so much that I want you to enjoy that. That's what this is about.
Right.
I want you.
It's the small things like that.
Right. Those little things, you know, when you get home from work and you take your shower and you're sitting on the couch and all you just want is your feet rubbed. right? Mm-hmm. Honor says, let me take care of my wife.
Yep.
Honor, not because I'm obligated to do it. Not because if I don't do it, you're going to have an attitude. No, honor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We, in relationships, honor over obligation.
I like that.
We should do things because we want to honor our mate, our spouse. Simple. Because then we're not getting it twisted. You know?
Right.
And if you are the receiver, right, you have to understand that this is them honoring me.
Right. So now you got to show some back.
And if you choose to, right? But
you should.
You should. Mm-hmm. But again, if you should, then that goes back to obligation. You both should just honor.
Love on each other.
That's it.
Just love on each other.
Come on now. And then the way God, his relationship with us, the way he extends his relationship to us is that now he's already given the ultimate sacrifice, his son, to die on a cross for us, right?
Right.
But he doesn't expect you to, because I did this, do this, do that. No, he did it because he loves us so much, right? Now, in return, most people, when we truly understand the love that God has for us, then we want to honor him by doing certain things.
Right.
So same thing in a relationship, because I realize how hard my wife is working. She coming home, she cleans, she cooks, she listens to my crazy stories. She puts up with me and this and that.
Yeah.
I want her to be happy. So I'm going to do some things in honor of her, and whatever that thing is.
Right.
Whatever between you and her, and you have conversations with her and you realize that, she likes this, she likes that. Oh, she wants this, she wants that. Oh, okay. And then you begin to honor, and guess what? That type of back and forth, it fuels the relationship to where you guys are slowly becoming more and more one, and it's like an unbreakable bond.
Right.
Because you guys are just like, this is just
two peas in the pod.
Come on. And you're in sync.
Right.
You get it. I saw a very interesting IG. So the skit was the wife, it was like something like what it looks like. When you're married to someone who loves you. Okay. So she had an attitude about something, right? And it's in that phase when she mad at you and y'all cool, but y'all not really talking.
Oh yeah.
Right? But it's not a thing. So what happens is it'll show one scene showed she was cooking and he was looking at something in the cabinet, right? And she drops the spatula. She goes to pick it up. Now, she left the handle side out. So had she gotten up, it would have knocked it off. So as she went down, he turned around and moved it automatically for her and then walked off. And then she looked at him and was like, and she, she's not smiling, but she's just like, right. And so what it was kind of portraying is his love for her, right?
Right.
And even though she's not talking to him, right? So
He's still protecting her from burning herself.
Right. And then the next scene, she's cleaning the bathroom and she gets to a point as high as she can go. And he just walks in behind her, grabs the thing that she sat down, and then he wipes the top for her and then just walks out. And she's looking at him.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So they were showing, and then another scene, she's sitting on the couch with her blanket on, looking out the window, looking sad. He walks up, gives her some flowers, and then walk away. And then it just show her looking at him like, and she still had an attitude with it. But she's thinking like, huh. Mm-hmm. And it's those type of things.
Right.
That when you are going to be in a relationship, you have to be able to sacrifice for the other person.
Got to.
So that the other person feels that love. And it's not, and then when you do it that way, it's not a back and forth or because you did, I did. No, it's just I'm honoring you so much. And my honor and love for you is not based off your honor and your love for me. I take ownership. Yeah. I take ownership of mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's totally different for each person.
Right. It doesn't matter if you are mad at me today. Yeah. I still love you. I'm still going to do what I would normally do. You know, okay. I'm still going to be there, but you don't necessarily see that nowadays.
No.
Because, you know, you did something to me and now, but nope, you didn't do that. No. And that's another thing when I'm in a relationship, when I'm dating someone. Okay. I'm looking for that.
The back and forth.
Are they pit for pat, you know?
Yeah, that, yeah.
Are they, you know what I'm saying? Because love is work. Love is work. You trying to be married 50, 60 years, it is hard.
That's
work.
That ain't easy.
Because 50, 60 years is not all peace.
Right.
Oh, it's some heartaches in there. Right? It's some disappointments in there. So we have to get ourselves to a place when in a relationship, number one, God has to be involved at all times. And not just some I'm praying about it, I'm this. No. He has to be in there before you do the action. That's going to cause the other person to be upset. Now, there are some things that you have to do to get you to the point to where you're thinking like this. Yeah. So number one, you have to walk in the spirit so that you don't fulfill the lust of the flesh. Now, what that means is that when you're walking in the Spirit of God is telling you, hey, forgive them on this, give them grace on this. When the Spirit of God is speaking to your life, then that means the flesh, like think of it like this, Spirit of God, flesh, it has to be like this. Flesh has to be low all the time because your flesh is going to react to everything that goes on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let you catch him looking side eye at someone, you know, at another woman. Your flesh want to say something, right? Well, I know you. Okay, you on the other. We not even gonna go down this road with you. Okay, I'm not gonna do it with you. Okay,
I ain't gonna tell you what probably would happen in that situation.
Right, but my point though is that our flesh is going to naturally react
in some way,
and so the spirit is so that your flesh does not do it. The spirit man. So think of it like in those cartoons when you see the angel on one side and the spirit man that is supposed to say, hey, no, that's not. Let's talk first, all right? The flesh is finna pop off. Like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. We have to walk in the spirit so that we do not fulfill the lust of the flesh, which will get us in so many things, right? Number two. We have to be patient with the growth and maturation of the other person. When you meet them, I know you think everything is great. They have a lot to grow. They have a long way to go. So do you. Right. And what we know, what we think today will be improved upon in the future as we keep living, keep experiencing things. We're going to learn like, dang, I can't believe I thought that. So, you're in your 30s. We ain't going to give the exact number. Yeah. I'm in my 40s. We're not giving the exact number. Okay. I can vividly think of some of the things that I thought and believed in my 20s that is so wrong today. That now my mind has completely changed about those things.
For sure.
Just completely. So think about that when we're meeting someone and we're in this relationship, who they are today, they will not be years from now. They'll grow. So patience is key.
Patience is key.
All right. So what we got? We got don't walk in the flesh. We're going to walk in the spirit, right? Right. We're going to love. And then love requires patience, requires long suffering, being selfless, not easily angered. Guys, please forgive me. I didn't turn that other radio off. Oh, there we go. We're off. Okay. So anyway, so that's kind of what it is. Like if those little things, those steps are taken, yeah, you should be good.
For sure.
You know,
those are some good steps to definitely. Well, the foundation first.
Right.
We got that.
That's your foundation.
Got your foundation, and the steps upon that foundation will be the success of any relationship.
And then I'm going to say the last thing is this: they are going to mess up.
Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect.
Oh my goodness! Listen, they are going to mess up.
Yes.
It is going.
It's gonna happen.
To happen.
Period. It's gonna happen. You gonna mess up.
That's it. And you know what? I was trying to be funny. I said, hey, listen, I'm probably gonna do this again. I'm sorry.
Let me give you a heads up.
Let me give you a heads up. I'm probably gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So it's those type of things that when you enter into a relationship, you are basically taking on the other person's crap.
Yep.
You are.
You are.
You're taking on their crap. You are.
Yep.
You might as well prepare your mind. First off, you guys are two different people, raised differently.
Yep.
Different cultures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
all that. Just different. And you got to try to get along. Right? So after the physical attraction, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you got to deal with.
Because you could just say quick, I don't want to deal with it.
Listen, can you imagine if you based everything off of just physical attraction? Like, you don't expect nothing else? Because that's going to get old.
That get old.
It's going to get old.
Physical attraction does get old.
Listen.
I got to be able to look at you.
Come on.
For real. It's going to get old, but.
Can you imagine?
Get old with like wine and shit.
Right. Now, you mentioned. What am I trying to say? Them smelling. Hygiene. Hygiene. Can you imagine being with someone? Let's say this. Let's say the dude, perfect hygiene when you met. Oh. Suddenly he goes through something and that changes.
No.
He ain't taking showers.
We about to talk about this.
Feet stink.
Can't do that.
You got smells in the sheets because he ain't taking showers.
Shit.
You lay down in the bed. Lord have mercy. We got to bleep this stuff out.
Oh, not me, baby.
But look, can you imagine that? Because people go through changes. Let me tell you one of my things was that my ex, she went through postpartum.
I hear about that.
That was tough.
I can't even imagine what that's like.
That was tough.
Okay.
And
can't even imagine.
I feel bad for women who go through that.
Right.
But if you love her, you got to deal with that. And it affects women differently.
It do.
It affects them differently. You know, for me, the worst part, no sex.
Yeah.
I got to wait 6 weeks, right? Anyway.
Yeah,
but she's now going through this depression, you know what I'm saying? So you got to, now she may not feel like doing anything. She may not feel like watching the kids. Not feel like being a mother.
I hear that.
There's all kind of stuff that happens. And I can't even begin to tell you I understand it. I don't. But it's just something that happens at some point. It just happens.
It just happens. Yeah.
I think we had our second son. We just had after our third son.
Okay.
I think it was a bit too much.
Okay.
And then when you got a husband that's making stupid mistakes and bad choices,
okay, it
adds on to everything.
For sure.
You know, and I was doing some stupid stuff back then.
Okay.
You know, so I felt, and back then I did not know what it was. Like I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
My pastor had to tell me to chill and be patient, and you know.
Okay.
But I was doing so many things wrong, making so many bad decisions. So I know that combined with what she was going through was all tough for her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, when I tell you how trifling I was, like spending bill money on gadgets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not having enough food in the house.
All those things are important.
With a pregnant wife who needs to eat, and she's starving.
Yeah.
Trifling.
Yeah.
Trifling, like for real, you know.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed and just saddened by who I was during that time. Like looking back, it's just
we all go through it.
It's just something that when I think about it, I just feel like I be pissed at myself, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
Because it's like, what in the world? And now she's dealing with postpartum, and it's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, guys, hey, do better.
So.
All right. Well, both sides do better.
Yeah. Women, you got to understand your man.
Yeah. But as men, look, fellas, we got to do better.
Yeah.
He commands us to love. He commands us to sacrifice.
We go through so much. You have to realize, and I've never been pregnant before, but that's a whole baby.
Yeah.
Your body is going through so much mentally, physically, emotionally, chemically.
Yep.
You're changing.
Yep.
And then that to be your third child, yeah. I mean, it's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot.
So, all right, guys. So that is the whole relationship thing. Then we covered a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. Sound good.
Yeah, we covered a lot of stuff. So
great stuff.
Hey guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Comment. Tell us what you want to talk about. Hey, and Heather and I are gonna be putting together a whole new